And joining us now from Washington is Jonathan Schanzer, Senior Vice President at the Foundation for the Defense of Democracies. Thanks so much for joining us at ILTV.
My pleasure.
Many in Washington were certainly surprised by the quick departure of al-Assad and his apparent replacement by al-Julani. Al-Julani was formerly al-Qaeda. He's still a wanted man in the U.S. What will the attitude of Washington be toward the new regime in Syria?
I think we don't know yet. I think that is really the way to sum it up. I mean, what we know right now is that HTS, formerly known as the Nusra Front, this is Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, is an al-Qaeda affiliate group. These are individuals that are associated with al-Qaeda. That is their ideology. I don't see this necessarily as a very positive development. This is an organization that is backed by Qatar and Turkey. These are, of course, two sponsors of groups like Hamas, groups like ISIS, the Taliban. We're not looking at particularly moderate actors here. So on the one hand, we have the departure of the Assad regime, which has been associated with Iran and its axis, as it's known, across the region. And it has been a regime that has helped Hezbollah arm up with Iranian weapons. That's gone. That's a positive. But now what we have in its place is a Sunni jihadi vacuum of sorts. I think the key right now for the United States is to signal to HTS's backers in Qatar and Turkey that we're watching carefully and that there will be repercussions if the jihadis turn their sights on either Israel or the Kurds, two of America's most valuable allies in Syria. But right now it looks like the Biden administration is something of a bystander. And of course, the Trump administration has to wait about another month or more before taking office.
Well, Jonathan, let me ask you this. Do you think Israel is making the right move by moving into the Israeli side of the Golan buffer zone? We sent in troops and destroying what we call strategic weapons of the Assad regime. There were a few dozen airstrikes overnight inside Syria, hitting their arms.
Look, I think caution is the right thing right now. Chemical weapons should be removed from Syria. Advanced weapons, also should be removed. I'm talking about surface-to-air missiles, possibly aircraft, helicopters. I mean, the platforms that you don't want to see falling into the hands of Sunni jihadis. It makes perfect sense for the Israelis to be striking them. Of course, you have some of those advanced weapon assembly plants that Iran had created inside Syria, IRGC facilities. Some of those have apparently been destroyed as well. We're talking there about precision-guided munitions that are apparently being destroyed by the IDF. Taking territory could be a bit more dangerous, and the reason why is that it could be used as a casus belli by the Sunni jihadis to say, look, the Israelis are now occupying territory that should have been Syrian, at least by their calculus, and they may use that as a reason to wage war against Israel. Nevertheless, if there are Sunni jihadis on the other side of that buffer zone, it makes perfect sense for the Israelis to deploy there and to make sure that there are sufficient defenses to ensure that the country of Israel is not invaded by the Sunni jihadi forces.
All right, Jonathan Schanzer, Senior Vice President at the Foundation for the Defense of Democracies. Thanks so much for being with us today at ILTV.
My pleasure.